Welcome to module number 8. At this point, it would be a good idea to revisit module number 7, which was a very, very important module, to do a brief review on all of that information. Just a reminder, to get the most from this module, it will be important that you complete all assignments listed in the syllabus and be sure to meet the deadlines for any written tasks, quizzes, and discussion postings. Strategic planning decisions and the competitive advantage. This is a very, very important series of decisions that need to be made in business. Alfred Chandler, noted researcher, Harvard professor, and business guru, is quoted here regarding the practice of strategic planning. Strategy is the determinant of the basic long-term goals of an enterprise, and the adoption of courses of action and the allocation of resources necessary for carrying out these goals. Many consider business competition to be a form of war, and they frequently quote the military strategist from 544 BC, Sun Tzu. His quote is that if you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. It goes without saying that the competitive advantage of one party as opposed to another will be a determinant in corporate profits, share dominance, and future growth. Legendary business executive Jack Welch couldn't have said it better when he said, if you don't have a competitive advantage, don't compete. So there's a lot of decisions to be made, and we already talked about some of the things that can really foul up your decision making. Cognitive bias and traps, poor decision-making processes, or personality types in a decision-making group that are not handled properly. But in the real world of application, you have things that have to do with the product, the 4 Ps, place, product, promotion, price. And then you have the 5 forces that are outlined in your reading by Michael Porter, and also competitive advantages that one company will have over another. All of these areas are those where decisions need to be made in corporate strategic planning. So basically, you have your target and you have the 4 Ps, and a closer look of the 4 Ps, revealing some of the decision-making factors, are in product, the quality, the design. You can see all that are here, how much you're going to charge for it, credit terms, discounts, so on and so forth, how you're going to promote it, where you're going to advertise, what your message is, what kind of sales promotions you might have to move product, and then placement. Is it going to be a big box retailer, or is it going to be by the internet, or what? All these decisions have to be made about how you're going to do business to capture this target customer. So now we'll spend some time examining why business decisions can be so utterly complicated and why all too often decisions fail. First of all, businesses have changed over the decade as the ever-changing needs and preferences of consumers have forced change in products and services. So here's just a few. Here's a quick run through memory lane. Years ago, most people did their shopping through the Sears catalog, especially if they were in a rural setting. Later on, there was the general store that people could go to buy their goods. As time progressed, strip malls were put in place for the convenience of people in their area. And then later, big box retail. You had door-to-door salesmen such as Avon, Fuller Brush, and then you had your large outlet malls. Also, on a smaller scale, taxi cabs moved to Uber. Jiffy Lube is there to service only oil changes. Redbox can be found in supermarkets. eBay is a very easy way to buy and sell goods, and FedEx will deliver within 24 hours. Also, in the past, efficiency was always what was considered to be the key element in getting a competitive advantage. So mass production changed to robotics, conveyors and logistics replaced humans, and lean advantage type of initiatives were brought into so many organizations. This one in particular is Six Sigma, who is designed to help companies reduce their number of defects. So at one time, operating efficiency was enough to furnish a company with a competitive advantage. However, many competitors have improved as a result of lean initiatives in technology, leveling the playing field and raising the bar for market share. This competitive environment influenced Andrew Grove enough to share his thoughts about the competitive nature of the computer electronics industry, one which is in a constant state of flux, where the winners are determined by who can make the best products with excellent consumer appeal. Grove wrote a book called Only the Paranoid Survive. He's the president and CEO of Intel Corporation. And basically his message is you have to be looking over your shoulder every single day to make sure that you're ahead of the competition. So, you can have efficiency, and that really is a big element, although that seems to be the price of admission nowadays. And efficiency would be characterized by just-in-time manufacturing, low defect rates, skilled, efficient employees that can do more work in less time at a lower cost, robotics, logistics, that would be transportation, warehousing, ordering, forecasting, Kaizen, continuous improvement, and Six Sigma, low defects. So there really have been great improvements in business over the years, and these have been absolutely necessary, but more is needed. In order to have a competitive strategy or competitive advantage, you need low cost, efficiency, quality, dependability, great customer service after the sale, innovativeness in products, and perhaps for that customer who wants luxury accoutrements for that market. So, we also have a better informed customers base. Customers today are very savvy about what's available, essentially through social media and the internet. But if you're planning strategy, it usually boils down to three basic components, some choices you have to make. One is, do you want to be a low-cost provider? Or do you want to create innovative products that really no one else has? Or do you want to provide luxury services to those discriminating customers who want to be pampered? And even if you have a good strategy, it could be badly executed. So this is another dimension to being successful. So some companies have created excellent brand images, and they have extended their marketing to take advantage of that. So brand extension or brand stretching is a marketing strategy in which a firm marketing a product with a well-developed image uses the same brand name in a different product category. This new product is called a spin-off. Organizations use this strategy to increase and leverage what is known as brand equity. An example of a brand extension is Jell-O Gelatin creating Jell-O Pudding Pops. It increased the awareness of the brand name and increased profitability from offerings in more than one product category. Sometimes this kind of decision can be effective, sometimes not. Let's take a look at a few examples in both categories. First, we'll look at the positive outcomes. Honda Motor Company in the 1950s broke into the market with a 50cc scooter. And believe it or not, they took market share away from Harley Davidson. Their theme was you meet the nicest people on a Honda, not a hoodlum on a Harley. Later, Honda expanded to small automobiles, and then after that, you can see the number of products that have the Honda name on them. We have the Honda Robot, scooters, morphed to motorcycles, small automobiles, minivans, welders, riding mowers, sporty cars, personal in-office transportation, and luxury vehicles. But these markets can get crowded. So for example, Amati, they made the choice to pull out of trying to produce a luxury product because they felt that the market was too crowded with Lexus, Infiniti, and Acura. And what could be a better example of Amazon in terms of brand extension? They went from just selling books to everything. So they really leveraged their brand image, and they were able to expand their products and services in a way that was very complementary. But there are, or have been, other examples. For example, Cocaine-Redux energy drink. Cocaine was a highly caffeinated energy drink distributed by Redux Beverages. It contained more caffeine than rival energy drink Red Bull and Rockstar. Cocaine was pulled from the market in the United States as a result of the federal FDA's decision that cocaine was illegally marketing the drink as both a street alternative to drugs and a dietary supplement. Eventually, this product was allowed back into the market with a different name. However, the question remains as to the product development cycle they have and the marketing that caused this initial launch setback. Certainly very costly. Colgate, that's right, the toothpaste brand, thought it wise to launch a line of frozen dinners. The logic behind the pairing? Consumers can eat a Colgate meal, then brush their teeth with Colgate toothpaste. Colgate, sounds kind of humorous, doesn't it? Identified their target markets as single or widowed people who were conscious about their food, who liked to read magazines and listen to the radio in the car. They imaged their shoppers choosing Colgate over lean cuisine and healthy choice entrees. The deep-pocketed company planned to spend as much as $16 per advertising impression in media outlets like Glamour, Better Homes and Gardens, and the Lifetime channel. They went heavily into cents-off coupons, and they blanketed the airways with messages on radio and TV, but it completely failed, and these were pulled from the market. But you have to wonder what was going on in the decision-making process. The company, best known for producing disposable pens, thought its brand name was strong enough to be applied to other categories. Indeed, it had already achieved success with disposable cigarette lighters and safety razors. Now, the unifying factor here was disposability. Bic pens, lighters, and razors were all throwaway goods. Furthermore, Bic could exploit its well-established distribution network and sell the lighters and razors in the same outlets as its pens. Sound like a great idea. However, when the Bic brand applied its name to women's underwear, consisting of a line of disposable pantyhose, they were unable to attract the customer. Sometimes these brand extensions can be a big hit, attracting new customers and opening up whole new markets. However, other times they are too far out of the company's identity and do not resonate with the customer's idea of the brand. One such example of a potential failure was Lifesaver soda. When you think of a Lifesaver, you think of the hard candy that has been around forever, that we all know so well. It's the same classic flavor you can always count on. In the 1980s, Lifesaver soda was introduced to the market. Although customers loved the flavors of the candy, replicating those tastes in soda did not fare well in stores. Another brand extension failure was Cosmopolitan yogurt. Cosmo knew that they were considered a sexy magazine. So if Sexy sells and Cosmo sells all of their sex tips in their magazines, then Cosmo would have no trouble branching out into the dairy market. It seems ridiculous, but they went along with it. Cosmopolitan yogurt was on the shelves for a mere 18 months before the entire idea was trashed. Why did it fail? Did Cosmo attempt to spread too far from its original core strengths? Probably. But you can bet there were a lot of bad decisions made in the boardroom. And then probably one of the greatest failures was Strand Cigarettes. It is regarded as one of the most disastrous tobacco campaigns of all time. The launch was accompanied by an advertising campaign on television. It was called "You Are Never Alone with a Strand." They also ran advertisements in newspapers and gave out coupons.